Picture this, a pitch-black night in 1959, deep in Russia's Ural Mountains. 9 hikers vanish under eerie, violent circumstances. Some barefoot, others brutally injured, one missing her tongue and eyes. Their tent, slashed from the inside, their footsteps, vanished into snow. For decades, theories swirled. Avalanches, secret weapons, even aliens. But now, chilling new evidence has emerged, offering answers more disturbing than fiction. The Dyatlov Pass mystery may finally be cracking open, and the truth is terrifying. The dream team of Soviet hikers. In January 1959, 9 experienced Soviet hikers set off for what was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime. Led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, the group included students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They were young, smart, and hardened by past expeditions. Their goal, trek 190 miles through the snow-covered Ural Mountains to reach Mount Otorten. The hikers, 7 men and 2 women, were no amateurs. Most were in their 20s, except for 38-year-old Semyon Zolotaryov, a war veteran with impressive survival skills. Their journey would earn them a Grade 3 certification, the highest mountaineering rank in the Soviet Union at the time. Before leaving, they were full of life. Their diaries reveal laughter, pranks, and the quiet confidence of people who had faced nature's worst and always come out on top. But the mountain they aimed to conquer, Kholat Syakhl, meaning dead mountain in the local Mansi language, would soon live up to its name. Only one hiker, Yuri Yudin, turned back due to illness. That twist of fate would save his life. Vanishing into silence. For weeks, no one heard from the group. Families waited, friends worried. Then on February 20th, search parties were dispatched. What they discovered remains one of the most chilling scenes in mountaineering history. On February 26th, the team found the hiker's tent, half buried in snow, oddly pitched on a steep slope. The most disturbing detail? The tent had been slashed open from the inside. Something had terrified the hikers enough to make them cut their way out and run without coats, boots, or even proper clothes. Barefoot footprints led downhill to a forest. 2 bodies, Yuri Krivonashenko and Yuri Doroshenko, were found beneath a cedar tree, nearly naked beside a burnout fire. They had died of hypothermia. A bit further, 3 more bodies, Dyatlov, Zina Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin, were discovered as if they had been crawling back toward the tent. Slobodin's skull had a fracture. All 3 had frozen to death. It wasn't until May, when the snow began to melt, that the last 4 bodies were found in a ravine. That's when the real horror set in. Injuries that made no sense. From the very beginning, the Dyatlov Pass incident has pulled people into a chilling vortex of mystery. What happened on that icy mountainside in 1959 still baffles experts and fuels late-night debates. Over the years, countless theories have surfaced, some rooted in science, others bordering on science fiction. Was it a deadly avalanche that crushed the hikers in their sleep? Or were they caught in the path of a secret Soviet weapons test gone horribly wrong? Maybe those strange glowing lights in the sky were signs of UFO activity. And what about the blurry figure caught on one of the hikers' cameras? Was it a Yeti stalking the group through the trees? Some researchers even blame infrasound, deep wind-generated vibrations that may have triggered uncontrollable panic. Each theory tries to fill the same terrifying blanks. Why did the group flee their tent into sub-zero temperatures, barefoot and half-dressed? How did some of them suffer brutal internal injuries with no external wounds? And what about the traces of radiation on their clothes? The deeper you dig, the stranger it gets. Even now, the truth feels just out of reach, lurking in the snow. Theories that sound like sci-fi. From the very beginning, the Dyatlov Pass incident has pulled people into a chilling vortex of mystery. What happened on that icy mountainside in 1959 still baffles experts and fuels late-night debates. Over the years, countless theories have surfaced, some rooted in science, others bordering on science fiction. Was it a deadly avalanche that crushed the hikers in their sleep? Or were they caught in the path of a secret Soviet weapons test gone horribly wrong? Maybe those strange glowing lights in the sky were signs of UFO activity. And what about the blurry figure caught on one of the hikers' cameras? Was it a Yeti stalking the group through the trees? Some researchers even blame infrasound, deep wind-generated vibrations that may have triggered uncontrollable panic. Each theory tries to fill the same terrifying blanks. Why did the group flee their tent into sub-zero temperatures, barefoot and half-dressed? How did some of them suffer brutal internal injuries with no external wounds? And what about the traces of radiation on their clothes? The deeper you dig, the stranger it gets. Even now, the truth feels just out of reach, lurking in the snow. A new scientific breakthrough. In 2019, Russian officials did something surprising. They reopened the Dyatlov Pass case. This time, they promised full transparency. By 2020, they announced their conclusion. The hikers had died in an avalanche. But not just any avalanche, a very specific kind known as a slab avalanche. At first, this explanation felt like a weak excuse. For decades, critics had said the terrain was too flat, there was no sign of snow damage, and the tent was in the wrong spot. But that narrative was about to be shaken. In 2021, two Swiss scientists, Alexander Puzrin and Johann Gaume, released a groundbreaking study that flipped everything on its head. They didn't just theorize, they used real science. By combining avalanche modeling and even data from car crash simulations, they recreated what might have happened. Their focus, a deadly slab avalanche, a silent killer. Unlike the roaring waves of snow we picture in disaster films, this type is a compact sheet of hardened snow that can slide suddenly and violently. Imagine something the size of an SUV slamming into your tent while you're asleep. That's exactly what the researchers believed happened. The hikers had unknowingly weakened the slope by cutting into it, supporting evidence from the site. In 2022, the scientists returned to Dyatlov Pass. Armed with drones and mapping tools, they created 3D models of the terrain. They discovered subtle drop-offs and steeper slopes than earlier maps showed, enough to allow a slab avalanche. They even captured fresh slab avalanches under similar weather conditions. It turns out the dead mountain isn't as dead as people once thought. Katabatic winds, sudden blasts of dense freezing air that rolled downhill like invisible bulldozers, could have intensified the event. Suddenly, the once dismissed avalanche theory didn't seem so far-fetched. It now explained the crushed bodies, the desperate escape from the tent, and even why the tent had no signs of being buried under snow. It was a small, localized event. Why they ran. Imagine waking up to a crushing blow in the middle of the night. The tent collapses. Panic sets in. Someone is injured, and outside, a blizzard, pitch darkness, and sub-zero temperatures. In those terrifying moments, the group likely thought more snow could be coming. Fearing burial or another slide, they slashed open the tent and fled. They headed for the forest, perhaps to take shelter under trees and wait for daylight. Their tracks weren't frantic, they were organized. That suggests a decision made with clear but urgent minds. But nature was not on their side. Without coats or boots, hypothermia would have set in quickly. Some tried to start a fire. Others likely froze to death trying to return. Those with worse injuries may have fallen into the ravine while seeking better shelter. As for Dubinina's missing tongue and eyes, most experts agree they were lost to natural decomposition or animal scavenging during the weeks before discovery. The radiation question. The low-level radiation found on some hikers' clothes has fueled endless conspiracy theories. But there's a simpler explanation. Two members of the group had previously worked in areas affected by the 1957 Kyshtym nuclear accident, one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. It's possible they brought contaminated gear unknowingly. Another theory? Many hiking items of the time, lanterns, watches, even compasses, used glow-in-the-dark paint containing radioactive materials. Either way, the radiation levels weren't high enough to be dangerous, and they likely had no connection to the group's deaths. Other wild ideas that refused to die. Despite new findings, many believe something stranger happened that night. Some point to a blurry photo taken by the group, an eerie figure in the woods that some claim is the fabled Yeti. Was it a wild creature stalking them? More likely it was just one of the hikers playing a prank. Then there's the UFO theory. Locals reported strange glowing orbs in the sky that night. Some say aliens, others say top-secret missile tests from a nearby military base. Another idea blames the indigenous Mansi people. Although initially suspected, no signs of a struggle were found, and the Mansi not only had no motive, they actually joined the search teams. A more scientific theory comes from researcher Donnie Ikar, who suggested the mountain's wind patterns created infrasound, low-frequency sound waves that can trigger panic and terror in humans. Imagine waking up in the pitch-black cold, your heart racing, convinced you're in danger, without knowing why. The fog of nitric acid? In 2023, another theory emerged. A failed missile launch created a fog of nitric acid, which drifted over the campsite. The burning chemical could have caused the hikers to flee in pain and confusion. This idea is based on Soviet weapons activity in the region and the fact that the government reportedly blocked access to the morgue, removed organs, and kept files sealed. The theory is dramatic, but it lacks physical proof. No chemical residue was found. Most experts remain skeptical. The tragedy that won't be forgotten. What makes the Dyatlov Pass incident so haunting isn't just the mystery, it's the humanity behind it. These were real people, friends, sons, daughters, full of life, jokes, and dreams. They trusted their skills and their instincts, and they faced one of the world's harshest environments with courage. The modern investigation doesn't erase the tragedy, it helps us understand it. It shows how even a small mistake, a simple tent placement on unstable snow, can snowball into disaster. In conclusion, today the Dyatlov Pass mystery is closer to resolution than ever. Thanks to modern science, satellite imagery, and biomechanical testing, we have a plausible, evidence-backed explanation. A slab avalanche triggered by human action and freak weather. But some will always doubt. The secrecy of the Soviet era left too many shadows. Some wounds, both literal and emotional, remain unhealed. What's undeniable is this. The story of the Dyatlov hikers has become a part of global folklore. It reminds us of nature's hidden power, the fragility of life, and the strange comfort we take in trying to explain the unexplainable. As we continue to study what happened on that lonely mountain slope, we do so with reverence for the hikers who never came home and for the truth they may finally be helping us see. Stay informed, subscribe to our channel for more valuable content, tap the bell to get notified about new uploads, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We appreciate your support.